Good are not morning critters. I'm gonna go with critters until someone tells me I should be using critters instead, because no one's told me anything yet. Today is Tuesday, July 26th, and last Monday I headed to Venice for a one-week cruise with my host family around the Greek islands. The first place we stopped was at Bari, which is at the top of the hill of the boot of Italy. After Bari, we went to Catacomb, where we actually spent no time at all because we went straight on to Olympia, which, in case you didn't guess, is where the Olympic Games started all those thousands of years ago. That's right, I sat on a 3,000-year-old brick wall. The day after Olympia, we stopped in at the island town of Santorini. The island is formed by a volcano, so all of the beach is black rocks and sand. We spent something like 3 hours at the beach before waiting an hour for a bus to come to pick us up, and then 40 minutes in line for the cable car. There is another way down from the hill, except it's a zigzaggy road covered in poo. Now, the reason it's covered in poo is because you can rent donkeys to take you up and down the hill. So if you imagine like 50 to 100 donkeys walking up and down this same piece of road for a whole day, yeah, it was a lot of poo. We decided not to walk. Yeah, no. Because Santorini is on an island, and it's a small island, there's not an actual port for the cruise ship to stop in. We stop in the middle of the bay, get on little boats, and they take us into the shore. We were on the last little boat out, and all we ate all day was 2 apples, an orange, 2 slushies, and a gelato, between 5 of us. Next we stopped in at Rhodes, another Greek island, and it was our 3rd stop and our last stop in Greece. Rhodes is a popular destination because it has some really well-preserved medieval buildings, as in there's a whole medieval fortified village with shops and cafes and post boxes. It's incredible. The day after Rhodes we spent in navigation, which means that we didn't stop anywhere, and I took the opportunity to read. I finished a 400-page book. Just in that day. It's okay, I had 3 others. Our last day we stopped in Dubrovnik, which is in Croatia, meaning I got my 2nd for the trip, first family in country award, the first one being Greece. Now, the main part of the town of Dubrovnik is surrounded by a big wall that we walked around. From this wall, you look down and most of the buildings it surrounds. Looking at the roofs, about 85% of them are tiled in bright, recent terracotta tiles, and the other 15% are old, faded and mossy ones. The reason for this is that Croatia and some of its surrounding countries used to be joined together and called Yugoslavia. In 1991, Croatia and one of the other countries declared independence from Yugoslavia, and this started the Croatian War of Independence. Now, Dubrovnik is quite close to the Montenegrin border, and when Croatia declared independence, Montenegro declared Dubrovnik couldn't be permitted to be part of Croatia because historically it was part of Montenegro, and thus began the siege of Dubrovnik. The main part of the siege lasted for 7 months, and during this time there was heavy artillery damage to a lot of the buildings. Despite the fact the siege lifted in 1992, the danger of unknown attacks still remained for several years, in fact until the end of 1995 when the Independence War completely finished. At the end of the war, all the damage had to be repaired in original style because Dubrovnik is a World Heritage Site, and thus the only difference you see when you're looking at the roofs is just the colour of the tiles. The cruise ship that I was on is called the Costa Fortuna, and it can hold over 3,000 passengers and 1,000 crew members. So with 4,000 people spread over 14 decks, 24 hours of 7 days, you're going to need to do an emergency evacuation drill. Our drill was scheduled just after we left Bari, and at 6 p.m. started a whopping 20 minutes of announcements and instructions in 5 different languages. One of the instructions was you can't bring any possessions with you that aren't necessary medicines, and the use of photographic and video equipment is strictly forbidden. I broke both of these rules. I brought 2 possessions with me, Jace, and this video camera.
Here we've got Tancredi, who is already ready for our practice emergency evacuation, which I think isn't for another hour, and he thinks is right now. So he's all ready. And now we've also got Jace in in her baby life jacket, which is extremely complicated to put on and is giving her a massive wedgie, but it's pretty funny. So we're going to take her with her, but Tancredi pointed out we don't have an emergency drill card for her, but we're hoping that children under the age of 3 don't get given a card. We now have the annoying emergency alarm noise.
It's nice.
Mamma, nessuno ha il giubbottino.
Here you go, Tancredi!
Quindi me lo tolgo.
No,
Tancredi!
no, perché adesso lo devi mettere, perché vanno a metterselo.
Tancredi!
To put it on.
Ciao.
Jace!
Andiamo.
Andiamo?
Yeah, take
Okay.
it.
I need to get my matching shoes. I have matching shoes. Okay. Because we all look so amazingly awesome in these things. We got it? No, in front of me. No, in front. Does it matter? Okay, so then I just carry it here. There we go. Where's Tancredi?
I don't know. He went
Does he have his cards with him?
Yeah. No, it's
Ciao Tancredi.
salutare Jace.
Ciao Jace.
Sto per morire.
No.
Does Jace have her cards?
Mamma,
Tancredi? Jace? Hi? No. Traffic jam.
Mamma, noi adesso
The fourth floor, right?
Yes. We're going to the 4th floor and we're already on the 6th floor. So we've got, this is the 5th and then we go another one. And we've got lovely back of Tancredi's head.
Oh.
Tancredi's head. Now in line, so we're now in lines of 6 and Tancredi's up the front we're just hiding from people that walk past. And Tancredi, Gira, is up the front with Jace.
Fammi vedere Jace.
Jace. Yes, he's at the front of our line.